Upon the initial release of World of Tanks Blitz, the first ever German tech tree line was, as a matter of fact, the E100 line, and it brought forth some fairly solid heavies in that aspect. Such purpose is this one right here, being the Tiger II. It is a vehicle that is known for having fairly solid armor, a well-rounded gun, and fairly solid bits of maneuverability along with that. And upon the present season, this vehicle has received a brand new legendary camo called the Catboard. Of course, it would feature this Minecraft-looking ass cat, pretty much just doing a Fortnite default dance on the top of the hatch, basically whenever you pen your enemies to the best of your ability, and you basically have pretty much what looks to be in the shape of your average everyday Amazon package that shows up on your front doorstep. In terms of the physical stats of this vehicle, it has 231mm of frontal turret armor and 166mm of frontal hull armor. You may think that's actually quite crazy, even though that this tank did end up getting an armor buff prior to the last couple updates apart from the balance changes, but ever since calibrated shells did significantly get increased towards the penetration factors, especially towards premium ammunition like heat shells, it really made a significant difference towards the armor profile of this vehicle, because any forms of premium ammunition, pretty much to anything that would account for over 270 to 280 millimeters of premium penetration, can now butter through this vehicle like it's absolutely nothing. In terms of the gun, it's actually also quite solid, having 2300 DPM with an 8.15 second reload time. That is if you are running calibrated shells, which puts the pen factors at 243 on the standard, 299 on the premium, and 65 on the high explosive. Combined as well with a fairly solid 310 average alpha on its standard, 260 on the premium, and 420 on the high explosive. Combined as well with a 3.6 second aiming time with 0.292 dispersion. And then finally, for the maneuverability, this vehicle goes 35 forward, 12 in reverse, and it has a solid power to weight of 12.7 along with that. I remember back in the day when my dad was using the Tiger II, it used to have that big giant gun to what is now equipped on something like the Yad Tiger 8.8 centimeters. That thing was absolutely an insane gun, and it packed a heck of a punch. You were basically able to roll in the upper 300s and sometimes even 400s in most regards. But it wasn't until like update 5.5 when they implemented like newer forms of tech tree tanks, mainly the lower tiers in that aspect, is when they got rid of that gun. And I really do miss that gun, I'm not gonna lie. When I first played the Tiger II, I was actually a really big fan of it back in the day. Until it started getting a lot of some changes towards its physical stats, it's received plenty of buffs on its gun, and now Cali's made it to where the pen factors are at a significant chunk to almost 300 millimeters on its premium. So we're going to hop on into game number one then, of course, because knowing my luck with the Q system, always taking forever to find a battle. Let's see how we can fare well apart from that. And here we are, and loading on into battle number one. Let's see what they got. Looks like they got two tunes on each team. They have a 53 TP and a Mil 1, VK 168, and that looks to be all that they would have in terms of their heavies. Alright, so knowing this cute little kitty on the top is going to bring me the best of RNG, let's go ahead and follow my team. I gotta love when my team goes one single direction without having to worry about what's flanking off towards the other side of the map. That's actually kind of unfortunate now that we come to even think about that. Alright, so we are going to be moseying on over with our team then in support of them. It's kind of rad that we are going this side of the map. Well, you never know. It could be the fact that the majority of their vehicles could be lurking on over towards this side too, but we'll just have to wait and see. So we already got 3 of their mediums already spotted crossing right over here. We got the M4 FL10 who's getting plucked big time. So we're just going to continue moseying on forward. We also got the Emil 1. Looks like we can outspot him off in the back. We're going to load in our premium ammo to guarantee the pen on that for 267. And then we're going to reload once again. It looks like that he is going to fire his third shell. We're going to flop on our adrenaline real quick. And then we're going to guarantee another pen for 270 into this vehicle. Alright, so then, the VK absolutely got kerblunkered in that aspect. Up, and it looks like the 53 TP is now coming on forward and trying to deal with our allies. So we also got the Rumpanzer Rhino off in the far back. Let's see if we can maybe get a tap into his vehicle. Of course not, because knowing my luck, I was never going to hit that. All right, so we got the scent coming on over towards the side. It looks like that and I'm getting plucked as apart from that. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly slap you for 359, and this Emil and somebody else lurking off in the back is pecking me off like crazy. Well, the armor did not really demonstrate its pleasurable upsides as apart from that, and it really goes to show that it's now turned into a lackluster state. Now that calibrated shells basically went to a point to where every bits of super heavy armor can just be deteriorated without a hassle. So we get a nice tap into the Rum Panzer Rhino's hatch. That's going to bring us upwards of 1100 damage so far. We also got the 53 TP. Looks like that we can outspot his hatch, and unfortunately he does move at the last second, which is unfortunate as well. Alright, so reloading again, we got the 53 TP. We also got the VK-168 right there. The gun is not working well for me, and that's how you can tell that this is an instant loss as apart from that. We got the 53 TP once again. We also got the 168. That was an absolutely pen shot, 100%, and of course Wargaming wanted to screw me once again. So we're going to go ahead and mosey on towards the 53. Let's get a quick slap for 371 into the side of his vehicle, and then we're just going to continue to back on up. Then we're going to flop on our adrenaline real quick, and then we're going to get another slap into this guy for a nice solid chunker of 318. And now it looks like that the only thing that I could ever do is just low roll the 53. That's unfortunate. Well, there's nothing I can really do in this aspect. I mean, we really tried to do our best as apart from that. And the gun is actually quite working fairly solidly as apart from that. It's not necessarily our fault that we lost this flank. It's just that our team went one single direction without having to worry about tanks being spotted off and pecking them off towards the middle side. That's kind of the unfortunate part upon teammates' behalf, is that they don't really know where to plant themselves in certain scenarios like that. But we still did okay. 25-14, that is going to instantly put us top on the team in that aspect. And holy cow, what a team this was. Perfect example as apart from pushing one direct side of the map without having to worry about a flank. So then we're going to plop into game number 2, and then let's try to make up for that mishap apart from that. So it wasn't necessarily the Tiger 2's fault. Of course, Wargaming always loves to screw my RNG at times, especially when my shells are fully aimed on in. But it doesn't take away from the fact that this gun is actually quite solid, especially if it wants to do the job fairly well, which you will get in most situations. So here we are in game number 2. Let's go ahead and see what they got. They have a Tiger 2, another VK-168, and an IS. Alright, interesting lineup. So let's go ahead and pull off our way over towards the left. Hopefully I will be having some bits of support this time coming through with me. You gotta mention as well that this vehicle also has 7 degrees of gun depression. It can be okay when holding off some ridge lines like this one, for example, but you gotta remember you can't be plopping yourself like all the way up on the hill, because that's where your gun depression is not going to be beneficial to becoming quite flexible when it comes towards that certain outcome. Alright, so we're gonna mosey on right here. So in a spot like this, this is a prime example on where you'd want to use your 7 degrees of gun depression to your advantage. Alright. Oh, I'm dying. Sorry, I'm just coming out of a sickness right now. That's why I'm coughing at a frequent basis. So, we got the WZ-110. We also got the A46 spotted off in the back. And we also got the VK moseying on up. We're going to get a quick slap into this A46 real quick. And of course, knowing my luck, I was never going to hit that shell to begin with. Got the VK coming on up. We're going to plop on our adrenaline real quick in case if the stinker ever wants to continue to poke himself out. And another miss. Well, look at that at times. The gun really only wants to work when it wants you to. And a prime example like this. Okay, there's a nice shot. Finally, after 10 billion years. Alright, so we also got the Hori Type 2, and it looks like that he is facing his side. Let's get a quick slap for 332. Alright, we're going to back on up just a little bit, and we're going to go ahead and track this guy in the process for 308. He is clearly not eyeballing me. I think he wants to get that position up at the top. And knowing my luck, he was going to instantly slap that shell. And we do get a max roll in return, though. That's the beauty part of that. You can see the gun when it wants to work. It does feel quite nice in certain aspects. And something like that to take advantage is that 8-second reload time along with that, which you're able to outtrade the majority of heavies, which is absolutely beautiful to even think about in certain aspects. Alright, so we got this A46 apparently sending it, and we also got, looks like we could spot the what the hell is that? Oh my god, I'm terrible at pronouncing tanks. 110, that's what it is. Okay, perfect. Alright, so let's go ahead and reload again. We got this 110. It looks like that he's angling his side. There we go, 291 slap. We got the enemy IS off to the side. It's highly unlikely that he's going to pen me, as that is the lackluster tier 7 with not so good bits of penetration factors. Alright, we got this 110 off to the side, so let's go ahead and finish him off. Beautiful. Alright, and then we're going to mosey on up towards the enemy IS right here, along with the VK100. We're going to go ahead and slap a quick snap into that IS for 291. And let's go ahead and reload again. And we got our adrenaline back, so we're going to go ahead and plop that. And we're going to miss that one. Okay, actually quite crazy. But when the gun wants to work when it wants to is where it does feel nice in certain aspects. That's something that does take advantage for being in a tier 8 heavy for something like this. With a gun, that can do you quite well in certain regards. So, we got the VK once again. Let's get another slap for 342. Alright, reloading once again. I'm going to continue to keep tapping this VK. There we go. Another nice tap. IS bounces us, of course. Alright, so reloading again. It looks like the Samil is reloading his clip, which is actually kind of unfortunate. He does get the clear into him, which is beautiful. So now we're going to mosey on towards the enemy IS, get a nice max roll for 388. And he already knows that he's screwed, which he cannot pen me in that aspect. And look at that. That is a much better demonstration upon the Tiger 2. And why still to this day, it's a fairly deadly heavy, especially when it wants to work only to when it wants to, and if your RNG levels are basically at their maximum. There we go, 36-21, we were able to block 18-20, and another instant top on the team as apart from that. And then we're going to perfect ourselves in our final game and see what we could do apart from that. So we are going to be waiting, and finally, another another rapid queue wait time as apart from that. So let's see what they got. Looks like it's a tier 9 battle, so they got a 114, an AMX 5100, and that looks to be all they got. Alright. Let's go ahead and mosey on over. I do tend to see these players a lot, so it's no surprise that they just keep on showing up in my battles every now and then. So I'm hoping that we are not going to be getting some support that way. So the only other thing that I can do is possibly head on over here. Oh, never mind. I have a turtle coming with me. Okay. I don't want to abandon him as apart from that. So, Alright, you better stay going that way, T95. Okay, thank you, go. Thank you, brother. Alright, we got the Hawk 12, and it looks like that he is going to send it, apparently. I don't really know what he's doing apart from that. We do mess up the HE, but I did hesitate a little bit as he is on the run at the same time. That's kind of the unfortunate part when it comes to tanks with maneuverability, is that you got to kind of be cautious to where you're aiming your HEs, because they could fly in a rat spot. Excuse me, I'm dying. They could either fly into a rat spot, or they could just miss in general, and you'll only do like 5 damage as apart from that. So, we got the T-54E1, and we can seem to have spotted the 114 off in the back. I'm going to continue to mosey on up and see what else that they have as apart from what's lurking on this side of the map. So I do have that T-95 backing me down just in case, but I'm really curious to see what else they would have lurking back here. They got a T-54E1 off to the side. Oh, it looks like he's going to back on up. I think we can, I was going to say, we can maybe plop a tiny part of his turret, but unfortunately not. Looks like the majority of their team is also planting themselves off in the back, so that's going to give me a Farm Fest advantage right there. And we did pen that, what's the tank? The T-28 prototype in that aspect. And now we got the Object 704, and now he's spotting me. I don't really know if I'm able to pen it, but he only HE'd my turret, unfortunately enough, apart from his behalf. So I'm going to continue to mosey on up then, and let's see what else they would have lurking back here. We got the WZ-114, and of course my T-95 is going to block me in that aspect. And of course I hit the rock because of my hesitation, of course, taking an effect. We got an enemy Destiny lurking off towards the side, so we're going to aim in on his vehicular and get a slap for 318. Alright, reloading once again. We do have our turret showcase, which is good. Alright, so, alright, this Destiny is not fairly stupid in that aspect. We got the Hawk once again. There we go. A much better solid HE demonstration apart from that, as he did plant his, or he did angle his full-on rear. So then we got the Destiny once again. Let's go ahead and guarantee a pen onto his lower plate for 244. We got the T-28 prototype also off to the side as well. Let's see if we can get a pluck into him. Well, at that, there we go. 348. All right. So then all this Destiny can really do is HE my butt. So let's go ahead and see if any of these stinkers are going to continue to poke, or if this enemy Destiny, on the other hand, is possibly just going to be staying put right there. So that is exactly what I'm going to do, is I'm going to fully on-tunnel him. Alright, so we are going to mosey on up. We got the Destiny right there. Another solid tap into you. And then we got our Adrenaline back, which is the good news. So I can basically just go on up here and then farm this guy pretty much. And that's the beauty part of having DPM. Alright, reloading once again. Let's go ahead and aim in on your track wheel for 320, and this guy cannot really do much about me. This is what every average player in their Destiny is capable of doing. It's just basically using HE or just sitting in one spot, not even backing up. That's the problem with the Destiny, is that it only has a 10 kilometer per hour reverse. And people think that they can get away in that certain aspect with that tank. But the average player, as we all know, 100 battles, 50 battles, I mean, you name it, they literally just stay put out in the open. Alright, so we were not able to get any further damage, but we did another 3,000 damage. And it really just goes to show that the DPM levels of this tank is actually still fairly solid still to this day. Whether it got that replacement gun or not, it still will do you very well. So another 3,000 damage in this one, able to pull out another second class, and able to do second on the team. Our twin T92E1s did a fairly solid job holding off that flank. And that is where I will drop the mic for this perfect session. No pun intended, don't make fun of me apart from that. So hopefully you guys did end up enjoying today's video, and if you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And make sure to turn on those bell notifications while you're at it so you do not miss out on any new videos or streams. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace out, y'all.